What's good? Yeah, it's your boy Matt, your favorite CEO, fitness model, and content creator. The three most important people that you need to forgive in your life in order for you to move on. The three most important people that you need to forgive in your life. Number one, you need to learn how to forgive the people who did you wrong in your life. I'm talking about associates, past friends, past relationships, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it may be. Certain people who took away opportunities from you, certain bosses, co-workers, whatever it may be. That specific group of people, you need to learn how to forgive those individuals that did you wrong in your past. Holding on to grudges, holding things against these individuals for what they did to you in the past, it's not going to help you to transcend to become a better person because you're always going to have that hate on your heart. You know what I mean? And hate doesn't do anything for you but make you miserable. It makes you unhappy. It makes you depressed. It makes you sad, right? Rather than hating someone, you can utilize that anger in a productive way by going to the gym, right? Because the gym for some people is a form of therapy, right? Meditation, different things like that. But you need to learn how to forgive these people. You know what I mean? Learning how to forgive these people and move on for things that they did to you in the past helps you to grow as a person. There are so many people that did me wrong. Certain people that, got close to me just to mess with certain people in my family. And it hurts. It hurt back then. And to this day, it doesn't bother me anymore because I learned how to forgive these people. Me holding hate and holding resentment towards these people and not wanting the best for them, right? It doesn't do me anything. Why would I see you and then hate you and despise you? No matter what you did to me, I understand people deal with certain things. People have been done dirty in different ways. I understand people have different mindsets and different perspectives in terms of forgiveness, right? I'm not saying we have to be best fucking friends. I'm not saying we have to be buddy buddy, but I forgive you for what you did to me. I forgive you for how you treated me because I've grown as a person. For me to sit up here and hate you for the rest of my life is immature. I'm a grown ass man. Why would I hate you for something that you did to me 10 years ago when we were 12, 13 years old, or even in high school, right? 14-year-old you and 14-year-old Matthew compared to now I'm about to be 23 years young and 23-year-old version of that individual. We're completely different people. That's almost 10 years ago. I was a freshman in high school when I was 14. But why would I hate you for something that you did to me 10 years ago or almost a decade ago? Nah, let it go. Let it die. You're a completely different person now, I would hope, right? Doing different things with a different mindset because it's been 10 years. But at the same time, for me to sit up here and hate you, for me to sit up here and have resentment towards you, doesn't do me anything. It doesn't make me a better person. It's not putting money in my pocket. It's not putting a roof over my head. It's not helping me to manifest my desired reality. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. So I have to learn how to forgive these people. And I did. It took time. It took a few years. It wasn't easy. It wasn't like, oh, I snapped my fingers and I forgave this person. No, because over time, people constantly think about these things and they focus on it. That's why I told you what you focus on grows, what you focus on expands. If you focus on negativity, it will grow. If you focus on hating someone, it will grow, it will expand, and it will eat you alive. I'm telling you. So you have to learn and practice forgiving the people that did you wrong. People who are not your friends anymore, that were your friends, associates that did you wrong, co-workers, bosses, people who did you wrong. Holding resentment towards these people rather than forgiving them and letting it go and letting it die and moving on with your life so you can attract bigger and better things into your life and better people and better circumstances. That's how you got to move. Forgive them, let it go. Don't talk to them ever again, right? You don't have to communicate with this individual. But now that you moved on, now you have that weight off your shoulders. Now you feel better. You feel more free. You feel more open. Your spirit is more open to receive blessings into your life rather than holding on to some shit that somebody did to you 5, 10 years ago that in all reality, you're never going to see this person again. Let it go. All right. Number two, you have to learn how to forgive your parents. And this is something that I struggled with. And the reason why I say that is because my parents watch my videos. So don't take this out of context what I'm about to say. A lot of times you grow up in a certain household where you're taught certain things that as you get older, don't really benefit you as much as you thought it would. Right? It kind of harms your growth as a person. But you can't get mad at them because that's only what they knew growing up. That's how they were conditioned. But it's up to you being aware of it to not have resentment towards them and not hate them and not hate the way that they raised you. Just learn from it and do better when you have children and better your life. I'm 22 years young, about to be 23 years young. Right? There's certain habits and certain things that my parents taught me I don't do now because it's not in alignment with my best self. Right? Whether it's certain eating habits, financial habits, spiritual habits, whatever it may be. There's certain things that they did or they taught me growing up that's not beneficial to me now as a male, right? As a man, as a grown man, right? Where my consciousness is much more elevated than my parents. I learned certain things and I know certain things that they don't know. But now it's up for me to teach them and be the teacher of my household, be the man of my household, teach my parents things that they didn't know so they can move differently now. You know what I mean? I grew up in a household where all we did was eat fast food, cookies, cakes, Go-Gurts, Danimals, soda, Chinese food every fucking day. That's all we ate. That was the most affordable thing, right? Chicken wings and french fries right now is $10, $12. Back then it was fucking $4 cash, right? And I'm from the Bronx. You feel me? But that was the most affordable thing to eat at the time. But for me to sit up here and years later get mad at my parents because they raised me in a household where they weren't health conscious does nothing for me. Doesn't make me a better person. I'm aware of it. So now I take my own actions into my own hands. I take my own life into my own hands. Okay, cool. They ate like this. Their family members got sick and passed away. So I'm going to make sure that I make it a responsibility to become health conscious, to make sure I take care of my health, to prioritize my health more than anybody else in my family ever did. And that's exactly what the fuck I do. I am the living definition of health and wellness in my entire family, in my entire bloodline. And that's why I'm going to transcend the health, the wellness, the wealth of my entire family. My kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, the future generations of my family are going to be elevated because of me, right? And I take that as a responsibility, especially when it comes to health and wellness, because without your health, you have nothing, right? You can make all the money in the world, right? But at the same time, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much money you have in your bank account, you're not going to live to enjoy that money if you don't take care of your health, right? You're not going to be spiritually in tune with God if you ain't fasting, if you ain't taking care of your health. God gave you your temple. Your body's a temple. Your body's a vehicle for your soul. And so is your mind. But if you're not eating correctly, if you're not taking care of your health, if you're not prioritizing your health, but you prioritize money, you prioritize sex, you prioritize all of these things that are not going to help you to evolve, right? In any way, shape, or form in terms of your health, doesn't matter. You can have sex with as many people as you want. You can make as much money as you want. If you don't take care of your health, you're never going to feel good physically. You're never going to feel good mentally. You're always going to have brain fog. You're always going to be angry and depressed and sad and low fucking energy because of what you physically consume, the food that you eat. So you have to prioritize your health. But back to what I was saying, don't get mad at your parents for how they raised you. They're raising you based off how they were conditioned, based off what they knew. They can't teach you things that they don't know. So why would you get mad at them because they didn't have proper financial education? Learn and teach them. And then now you can teach your kids rather than getting mad at them and being, oh, you didn't teach me this. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. I used to be like that when I was 18, 19. I was like, damn, I'm health conscious now. I'm conscious of wealth. I'm conscious of all these people. There's a lot of guys in my 20s and my 30s investing, making money. I'm like, why was I not taught this by my parents? And I realized they didn't know. They did the best that they could based off what they knew. And they raised me to be a phenomenal young man. They raised my sisters to be phenomenal women. And they're all, unique and beautiful and amazing in their own way and moving towards more success. You know what I mean? Even myself. So my parents are amazing. I love my fucking parents. I would die for them. I would do anything for them. But I've grown so much as a man that I went from hating certain things that they did to appreciating that they did the best that they could. And now I can learn from their mistakes and move forward in my life to make sure I don't make those same mistakes. I can take the good, because there was a lot of good habits that my parents had, and I can take the bad and make sure that I don't do those things. And I elevate on those bad habits and make them good things. If they were eating unhealthy, now I can eat healthy. If they didn't have financial education, or they weren't health conscious, now I'm health conscious and now I'm financially educated. So now I can create a better life for myself. Now I can be and I already am a millionaire in my 20s, right? No one in my family has ever done that. That's the mindset you got to have. I'm a millionaire in my 20s. No one in my family has ever done it. My parents couldn't do it. They didn't do it. They weren't aware of it. They weren't health conscious. So I'm going to make sure that I'm able to give my kids and even myself a better lifestyle than I had growing up, right? But at the same time, like I said, you got to forgive your parents. I know a lot of you some of you don't even have parents in your life. You had parents that neglected you. You had parents that left you stranded. You had parents that left your life. You have to learn how to forgive these people. I'm telling you, you do not want to die with hate in your heart. You do not want to die with resentment in your soul. You don't. It's not going to make you a better person. It's not going to make you a happier individual, right? Don't hate that person, because then you're going to end up passing on that same energy towards your children that aren't even conceived yet. You know what I mean? And you can't do that, right? Learn from your parents' mistakes and know and understand that they did the best that they could. And then take on their good habits and then learn from the bad ones and make them good habits. So when you have children, you raise them completely different than how you were raised. That's why my kids ain't eating fast food every day, like how I did growing up. My kids ain't eating the sweets and the cookies and the cakes every day. My kids are going to be health conscious at a very young age. They're going to be healthy at a very young age. Because at the end of the day, I understand that that's how I was raised, but that wasn't the best. That's not going to be the best way for my children. And I'm going to raise them completely different in that aspect of life. I'm going to teach them financial education at a young age so they can elevate their finances at a young age and know these things. So when they're 18 and they graduate from high school, they know exactly what the fuck they want to do with their life. They're not lost. And they don't know how to manage their money. They don't know how to pay bills. They don't know how to, take care of themselves. My kids, by the time they're 18, will know how to take care of themselves so they can move on and do what they need to do and live their life based on, how I raised them. You feel me? And teaching them things that I didn't learn growing up by the time I was 18. You feel me? So that's the second people you got to forgive. Your parents. Forgive your parents. They did the best that they could. Love them. Be there for them. And that's it. Let it go. Let it die. They did the best that they fucking could. Appreciate them. Show gratitude for them. If they're in your life and if they love you and care about you and they want the best for you. Because I love my fucking parents and I would do anything for them. And I've been forgave them a long time ago for how I was raised in certain areas, because I understand that they did the best that they could based off what they knew. Even to this day, they might say certain things to me that I don't necessarily agree with, whether it's health, whether it's finances, but it's okay. We're allowed to have our differences in opinion. I'm a grown ass man. I'm going to make my own decisions, right? They're not the best people to go to for certain things because they're not where I want to be in those areas. So I'm not going to take advice from them in those areas. And that goes with anybody, not just them specifically. You know what I mean? But forgive them. Love them. They're your parents. At the end of the day, no matter what happened, they are your parents. They gave birth to you. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And number 3, the most important, you have to learn how to forgive yourself. Holding resentment towards yourself because of the things that you've done in your past to you, it does nothing for you. Right? You have to love yourself more than how anybody else on this earth loves you. You have to. You have to forgive yourself for the pain that you've caused you. Because remember, you are in control of your reality, right? Circumstances that you're dealing with or that you've dealt with in the past are because of you. The reason why certain people pissed you off in your past and bullied you is because you fucking allowed it. You allow people to walk all over you. You allow people to step on you. You allow people to talk any certain way to you. And I did that. And people, the same people that used to talk shit to me, that used to bully me verbally, never physically, right? The same people that used to talk down on me or walk all over me because I allowed them to, would never do that now. They wouldn't. It's impossible. They would never be able to do some shit like that to me now because I would nip it in the bud. I would check them. Yo, my man, you ain't going to talk to me like that. Like, you better watch who the fuck you talking to. Watch yourself. You know what I mean? People used to mistake my kindness for weakness, and I allowed them to. And you need to understand, being a kind person is not a bad thing. Being a nice guy, it's not a bad thing. It's just when you start letting people walk all over you, when you start letting people, talk to you any type of way, when you start letting, if you like women, right? For my men in here that like women, if you start letting your girl talk to you any type of way, or any woman that you're dealing with talk to you any type of way, you can't do that. You can't allow that shit. Because if you don't check it, they're going to keep doing it and thinking it's okay. And that's not even just with, women that you're intimate with. It could go with just, female friends or even male friends. It don't even got to, it's not just a specific gender. It's everybody. But it's more so just learning how to check people and standing your ground and putting your fucking foot down, right? Forgive yourself for how you used to let people walk all over you. Forgive yourself for the harm that you caused you. Because most of the harm that you dealt with, even if it came from other people, you allowed it. You accepted it. Right? You got your heart broken because you were so delusional. You thought this was the one, but it wasn't the one because you didn't see the fucking red flag because you were so focused on, the vagina or whatever was going on. You know what I'm saying? You was whipped. You feel me? You got to lock in. You got to focus up. Forgive yourself for the harm that you caused you. Forgive yourself for all those times you doubted yourself. Forgive yourself for all those times you spoke negatively to yourself. You was talking shit to yourself when you were supposed to be on your own team. Forgive yourself for talking down on yourself. Forgive yourself for speaking negatively to yourself. Forgive yourself for not being on your own team, for not being your own cheerleader, for being against you. Like I said, I don't do that you versus you shit. There is no me versus me. Because when it was me versus me back then, I didn't like me. I was against myself. I was on everybody else's team against me, against myself. Fuck that. No, I'm on my own team. I'm on my own squad. It's me with me. Not you versus you, me with me, you with you. It has to be you on your own team. It has to be you on your own squad. If there are other people on this earth that are against you, that are bullying you, that don't want you to win, why would you join them and be against you on that you versus you shit? No. Forgive yourself for not being on your own team. Forgive yourself for allowing other people to step all over you. Forgive yourself for doubting yourself and not tapping into that God that's within you. Because when you're disrespecting yourself, you're disrespecting God. When you're not believing in yourself and you're doubting yourself, you're doubting the Creator. Because you create your own reality. The kingdom of heaven is within you. I don't care what you believe in. You were created. You know what I mean? And you have to understand that the circumstances that you're going to deal with in the future, you create. If you constantly think negatively about your life, if you constantly keep talking shit to yourself and you don't believe in yourself and you speak down on yourself and you think about yourself in a negative point of view, you're never going to attract anything good. You're not. Because everything starts in the mind. The power of your imagination, the power of visualization. Most of you visualize negative things happening to you and then you get all surprised and act all, oh my God, why did this happen to me? When you visualized it, you saw it happen before it did. But why can't you channel that same energy, that same type of energy that you give towards negatively visualizing something bad happening to you? You can do that same thing with something positive. And that's why most of you are against you. You're not on your own team. You're not your own cheerleader. You're giving your energy towards negative shit and then you wonder why negative things happen to you. Forgive yourself. Because most of you cause yourself so much pain and you don't even realize it because you do things subconsciously. And then you live in a negative reality. You don't realize it's you. You in your own head. You live in this mental home 24/7. So if your home is, just clothes through, fast food on the floor and, there's clothes everywhere and it's not clean and it's, you just letting anybody and anything in your home, what's going to happen? People going to take over your shit. You letting other people control the way that you feel and the way that you think. That's because of you. So forgive yourself for letting people control your emotions, right? Allowing it. Forgive yourself for getting upset at yourself. Forgive yourself for not loving you. Forgive yourself for not being there for you when you needed it the most. Forgive yourself for, trying to be accepted by other people and compromising who you are to appeal to another group of people that don't give a fuck about you. Forgive yourself for these things. Learn how to forgive yourself. Because if you spend the rest of your life hating yourself and having resentment towards you, you're never going to attain anything great. And you're never ever going to feel good about yourself because you're always going to be at battling yourself. Fuck that battling yourself. Nah, be on your own team. Be your best fucking friend. You're in an image and likeness of the Creator. God is not against you. God lives within you. So you have to be on your own team. Because if God is not against you, why would you be against yourself? If it's not God against you, then why would you be you versus you? Think about that. Learn how to forgive yourself, right? Number one, learn how to forgive everybody that you had interactions with, coworkers, friends, associates, past relationships. Learn how to forgive those people, right? Number one. Number two, learn how to forgive your parents and understand that they did the best that they could. You know what I mean? Love them, care for them, and learn from their mistakes, learn from their bad habits, and make those good habits. And number three, the most important, learn how to forgive yourself. Stop holding resentment towards you, right? Forgive yourself for letting people walk all over you. Forgive yourself for being against yourself. Forgive yourself for not believing in you. Forgive yourself for not tapping into that God within you. Forgive yourself for talking down on yourself and trying to appeal to someone else that doesn't care about you. Forgive yourself for compromising who you are to make somebody else feel good. Forgive yourself for not putting yourself first and putting everybody else before you. When you know that you need help, you know that you need love. Forgive yourself for not loving you. Forgive you, right? And once you do those three things, you forgive those people in your life, then you can start to transcend and move forward in your life and start to progress in everything that you do. Until then, you're always going to live with hate in your heart and resentment. And that's not going to do anything good for you. Your boy, Matt Rodriguez. I love y'all. On to the next video, baby.